I know I'm quite a large pay dispute happening with our Australian women's soccer team at the moment. Is it frustrating for you as someone who's so prominent in your sport, you are the richest fighter in UFC, that sort of thing is still going on?
No. I think that how much you get paid should have something to do with how much money you bring in. I'm the highest paid fighter, not because Dana and Lorenzo wanted to do something nice to the ladies. They do it because I bring in the highest numbers. They do it because I make them the most money. And I think that the money that they make should be proportionate to the money that they bring in.
Quite a large pay.
Good Doc back again. Once again, let's lock in. Official IPA merch available. Shout out to the International Passport Association. Check the Dr. Mike TV store at the bottom of the video. All right, links in the description area below. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is beautiful. Like the chef's kiss. Just magnificent, right? Because first and foremost, if you don't know who Rhonda Rousey is probably the most famous female combat athlete on earth, right? Women's MMA, she was the pioneer for it, right? So when women's MMA, more specifically UFC women's fighters were being introduced into the company, she was in the forefront of it. And as a result, she was out there making money. Now, for many of you who have followed Rhonda Rousey's career prior to her WWE stint, I don't know if she's still in there or not, you would know that Rhonda Rousey was a one-trick pony. She would do her judo flip, get you into an R-bar, and submit you. But like I said, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right? That's the saying, right? If it ain't fixed, or if it ain't broken, don't fix it. So she would win fights like this, right? Until she ran into the preacher's daughter, I forgot her name, who took her title, and then she tried to run it back with the lioness Amanda Nunes, and it didn't quite work out her way, right? That's when they literally made her, kind of forced her into the WWE. That's neither here nor there. But it's beautiful when, at the height of her career, she was making statements like this, right? Because you have a lot of women who like to believe that women are going to co-sign for the shit that you say, like just because we're women. Like, yo, like there's a woman code or something like that that I'm just going to follow by and abide by just because you're a woman like me. So, like I said, Rhonda Rousey was the highest paid athlete at the height of her career, right? And so she was bringing in the revenue, she was bringing in the money for the UFC. Right, so as a result, when they were doing a press run, I can't really remember where this particular event was taking place or who she was fighting during this particular time. But she basically said, look, the reason I get paid the big bucks is because I bring in the big money. I can't sit there and argue the same for you. I make my company money. I make the UFC money. So as a result, I get paid accordingly because I make them money. Not just because I'm a woman and they feel like doing me a fucking favor. And in reality, like I said, it's one of those humbling accountability experiences that a lot of people are going to overlook, especially my young ladies out there. It's equal pay, baby. It's about equal work, right? If you're going to get paid the same as me, I would want you to do the same amount of work as me, right? So the men's soccer team out there killing it. That's an international sport. I mean, they bring in revenue from all over the world. People love to watch it. A lot of merchandise being sold. I mean, you name it. Olympic sporting events. You know, they have it all surrounding men's soccer team. I just wish that women could see, especially when it comes to the WNBA. You guys know that I've had a couple of videos about the WNBA in the past, but here we are, and we still have young ladies that are still talking as if women should just be gifted money and be gifted equal pay, even though they're not bringing in equal amounts of revenue. I think that is a fair statistic. I believe that is a fair standard. Look, if you want to get paid more, bring in the money, right? Bring in the money. I doubt any company, well, let me take that back. Let me say this. I doubt any company will have a reason not to pay you on the same level as everybody else if you were making them money. Because if they did, guess what? Now you have the data to show, yo, my business or my organization, my soccer team or whatever it is bringing in X amount of money, but we're only getting paid this. Now you have a reason to come to the table with an argument, right? If I'm making you money and I'm making you millions of dollars and shit like that, but you paying me peanuts, I could come to the table. I could start shouting from the rooftops. Yo, they ain't taking care of me. They ain't taking care of me. But if I'm not bringing in the monies and I'm just playing the sport and, granted, we just not, the revenue just ain't the same. That's kind of an argument I can't say nothing about. I can't really argue about how much I'm getting paid if I'm not bringing in the money like that. And that's just the truth and reality. And that's even from a man's standpoint as well. You think all UFC fighters are paid the same? Let's keep it a buck. Ronda Rousey at the height of her career was being paid more than most men in that company and or organization. This was prior to Conor McGregor. Maybe John Jones was making about the exact same money that Ronda Rousey was making at this time, maybe a little bit more. But I can almost guarantee that about 95% of the roster was being paid less than Ronda Rousey was. Maybe Brock Lesnar was getting paid about the exact same as Ronda Rousey when she was at the height of her career. Again, I don't know numbers. I'm just going off the top of my head. But I can almost guarantee that at least 95% of that roster was being paid less than Ronda Rousey was. And not just a little bit less, but significantly less than Ronda Rousey was, because they weren't bringing in the revenue like she was. So it's like the same rules apply when it comes to sports and stuff like that. The same rules apply. You can't expect to get paid the same amount as everybody else if you're not bringing in the same amount of money, right? You kind of want to make this a man versus woman, Me Too type of argument, but in reality, it's hard to make that point when you are not bringing in the revenue like everybody else is. If you were a young lady bringing in the revenue, it would be hard for people to deny you payment. Let's talk about rappers. I know UFC fighters, people who entertain on a regular basis, that use their hands. Let's talk about people who use their mouths, their lyrics. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are probably in the top tier, highest paid rappers. Probably being paid than the majority of regular rappers. I'm not saying that they're at the top tier, because of course you still got your Jay-Z's, your J. Cole's, and super famous rappers. But you have women that are top tier making more money than your average, right? So you can't even say, oh, if I was rapping the same as these guys, am I not making the same amount of money as these guys, when they're probably out there making more, doing endorsements and all that other shit, than your average rapper. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it comes with how much money you bring in for the company. You can't sit there and argue time and time again, oh, y'all gotta pay me like everybody else. Are you doing equal work? Yes or no? Are you bringing in equal revenue? Yes or no? Right? And then you want to sit there and blame men in this regard, that this is the reason why y'all ain't bringing in equal revenue. But in reality, like I said, when you can't even get women to follow your sport, that's pretty much where shit hits the fan. Let's keep it a buck. Ronda Rousey was the face of women's MMA, the face of the UFC for a period of time. All the young ladies looked up to Ronda Rousey, and you could say, therefore, that's how she was able to get paid as much money as she did. All the guys who might have found Ronda Rousey to be attractive in any way, shape, or form were probably watching her as well. So whatever demographic she targeted, whatever demographic she hit, that allowed her to make the money that she did, she hit it, and she hit it full force. Same with Cardi B, the same with Megan Thee Stallion. These women are out here targeting a specific audience that is bringing in revenue, that's bringing in money, wherein, I'm going to start doing these shows and these tours and shit. You better start paying me accordingly. I remember specifically, Cardi B said this. She was going to clubs and stuff, and the guys that were also going to be at the club with her, she was being paid less than them at one particular period of time. Right? So she was being paid less. And I think she told the promoter, I ain't going to come if you pay me less than them, because I'm the reason that these women are out here. I'm the reason that the audience of females that come in are in the building right now. That's what she said. She's like, look, man, if y'all ain't going to pay me accordingly, then I'm going to just not come. And anybody who recognizes the influence that Cardi B had over the audience in that regard is going to say, fuck it, man. I can't afford not to have her on, so pay her what she's worth. Again, you can make the argument all day long, but you got to be able to back it up. That's all I'm saying. You got to be able to back it up. You got to be able to back it up with the stats, statistics, the data, to be able to justify why you deserve to get paid, right? If I can't do that, like me having a YouTube channel, right? What little views I bring in, I can't sit there and ask people or promoters or like somebody who wants to have an in promotion on my video. I can't sit there and say, yo, you better pay me the same as a fucking Logan Paul or some shit right there, because my numbers are not the same as theirs. It's the same rules, and the same rules apply for both men and women. I just don't like it when they try to separate it and make it a man thing and a woman thing, when in reality, it's what are you doing to make the money for your company, right? If you want to be an entrepreneur, what are you doing to make money for yourself? And then when you start running and owning your own businesses, maybe you'll realize that it's not as easy as you think to pay somebody what they feel they're worth if they're not bringing in the money. I think sometimes you just have to have certain people put in certain positions so that they understand that they can't just pay people what they think they're owed. You can only get paid when you're bringing in the revenue. At the end of the day, man, money talks in every sense of the word, especially here. Guys, that's been the end of the video, man. Let me know what you guys think, man, in the comment section below. If you think, Doc, you are crazy, man. Women deserve to be paid the same as men. Don't sit there and talk that bullshit because you're sounding like a misogynist. If you believe that, let me know. Or if you're like, Doc, you know, you might be onto something, man. The stats, the data, the statistics, the money they bring in, the revenue, it all pays accordingly. And if you bring it in, you should be able to receive it. And you have the right to ask for it if you can show that you're making them money. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time, effort, and energy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. This has been the Good Doc, man. Time for the Good Doc to go and get to getting. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.